Can everyone hear me right now? Okay, awesome. I just the team was pinging me and said that you guys can hear me. Oh, that's so unfortunate. So let me just do a quick recap and then I'll speed forward through. So I just want to first apologize in advance for my voice. I know the team sent you a message regarding me recovering from a previous speaking engagement. I'm actually on tour right now. I'm currently in Ghana. So I didn't anticipate my voice being gone, but it's just part of being a global speaker. So I am on tour right now. So just wanted to preface by saying that today we're talking about how to get paid public speaking engagements with 10 emails a day. And I gave a quick recap of two previous webinar sessions as part of a three-part series. So you're welcome to go on my website or on my YouTube channels to get the recordings on the first session, which is how to get public speaking opportunities via virtual events. The second one, which is regarding how to monetize via free webinars. And today's session, which is how to get paid with 10 emails a day. I'm going to share with you how I do this behind the scenes. Now, I know my voice is hoarse right now, but is it still clear for everyone in the session? Are you able to understand me and hear me okay? Okay, I'm getting a couple of head nods. Good. Um, so let's dive right in on today's session, which is how to get paid via public speaking opportunities with 10 emails a day. By the way, this is emails that me and my team do on a regular basis. So this is not from theory, this is literally from practice. So I'm excited to share this with you today on this session. So diving right in, I wanted to share with you, obviously, I'm going to pass by my speaker career journey because I think you could find recordings and videos. I mean, the fact that I'm on a speaker tour right now is a testament to the speaker career that I have and the events and conferences that I engage with. My team and I, we get booked for about 20 to 30 conferences a year, depending on the programs that I take on. And the majority of them are usually corporate, private speaking engagements, and I do about a close to 10 conference engagements per year. So it's a variation combination of the sort. So if you have any questions regarding that journey, my experiences in the media, we could do that during the Q&A session. Right now, I want to dive right into the content. I also share in previous webinar sessions my method for getting targeted speaking engagements and how I'm able to really be proactive regarding speaking engagements. When I first started my speaking career 10 years ago, I was very reactive, waiting for opportunities, waiting for referrals. But over the years, I've learned how to really create a system around getting engagements. And now I'm very proactive and I create opportunities for speaking engagements. So I'm no longer reactive, I'm proactive about those opportunities. At the heart of my strategy is using and leveraging virtual events. And I'll share a little bit more about that later on. So let's get to the heart of today's session, my email outreach system. I'm going to dive right into it. So if you guys have been in my previous webinar sessions, you know about my scope method, which is my targeted method of closing speaking engagements, which is making sure my speaker profile is always up to date, getting in the right speaker circuits, and really creating opportunities for speaking engagements, getting the right pipeline so I can monetize and building brand equity so that we have a referral ecosystem going on. So with this email strategy, it's really at the heart of scope, which is creating opportunities for yourself by doing outreach. Okay. And essentially, this is where it becomes a numbers game. And many of you who've been on my previous session know that I'm very direct with the fact that it is a grind and reaching out and doing lead generation for yourself. This is not like some easy magic wand where I share with you some email scripts and then you hope for the best. It does really require you put in the work. And one thing I will say, it depends on how many emails you do per day, per month, per week. So for example, on the R&D side, If you find 100 events per year that you're reaching out to for speaking engagements, that's on average 10 events that you're reaching out to per month. Obviously, if you're reaching out to only 10 events per month, at least half of them will ignore your emails, right? Because they get overbooked, it's very competitive, and you're probably not the right profile. Of the other half, maybe three of them will probably respond, and maybe you might close one booking. However, if you really increase your outreach, let's say you do 100 per month, now you're giving yourself a little bit more momentum, because with 100 events per month, you're at least going to get, again, at least 70 to 60% of them are going to respond. And you see, it becomes a numbers game. In my public speaker booking program, I share with people how to actually reach out to 100 events per day, because there are thousands of events as we're speaking right now. If you received my last email blast, I actually shared 5 speaking engagements that are looking for speakers right now, and there are currently 8,100 speaking events that are looking for speakers right now as we speak. So really, it is a numbers game. So you can't underestimate the power of making R&D a core part of your process to find those events and send the outreach. Once you find the right events, then it becomes a conversion mechanism of giving the right emails at the right time for the right information. I'm going to share that with you today during the session. And then you close sales. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of how to close contracts, how to get a referral system, because you can put in your contracts, by the way, that's part of the speaking engagement, that they are to refer you to 1 or 2 speaking engagements, posted engagements, if they are satisfied with the speaking contribution that you provided the event. We're not talking about contracts during today's session, but I wanted to share with you that, again, this is part of the system where you have R&D, it's a numbers game, and you do the outreach and you close the sale. This is the loop cycle. So let me show you how that looks like. So there's 2 ways that I run email outreach within my team as we speak. We have inbound, which is our email marketing strategy, how we really create a community around my personal brand. So I'm constantly in the loop cycle with potential clients, potential customers, and potential stakeholders, so I could get speaking engagements. And then you have outbound strategy, where my team is pitching people events and conferences to get booked for speaking engagements. I will say that you need to be able to do a combination of the both. I know many of you are on this call for the outbound strategy, but I will share with you both strategies so you are aware how to leverage both when it comes to speaking engagements. So I want to start by saying, when you're starting with email marketing, right? One email that's really crucial that you have, and you could create this right now, is very simple, is your onboarding email. Okay. One way or another, you're going to have to create an email list for your personal brand, so that way you're able to automate and generate a community over time that will eventually be your customers, your clients, and referral ecosystem. This is my onboarding email sequence. Now, if you're first starting out, just stick with one email that, once people sign up to come on your newsletter community, it's an automated email that goes live to them for them to be able to engage with you. Now, again, if you're more advanced, where you've been in the speaker circuit for a while, you need at least 3 emails to space it out. This is a screenshot of my onboarding newsletter sequence, where it's a welcome, which describes the newsletter. It's the second email, which describes, hey, kind of like a survey question, what are you looking for? So that way I could direct them to the right email sequences for more opportunities. And the last one is exactly how to leverage being in my network. Again, if you're advanced, you have 3 in that email sequence. If you're just starting off, this is my favorite email format, and it works when it comes to getting people to sign up for your newsletter and get to know you. It's usually, hi, my name is Christine and Tim, and then your value statement. If you don't know what a value statement is, it's one sentence that describes who you support, what you do for that community, and why you do it. I'm going to give an example. Hi, my name is Christine and Tim. I provide I provide resources, information, and trainings for entrepreneurs who are trying to build, create, and monetize their personal brands online. That's my value statement. In that value statement, you know who I target, entrepreneurs. You know what I do, I help them build, create, and monetize their personal brand. How I do that? Through resources, trainings, and programs and resources. Very simple. So if the person signed up for the newsletter, they know exactly that they're the right person and they're happy that they joined. And I showcase that with three different examples. So you see those three X's. So one could be my webinars, how they can sign up. A second one could be my courses. I can show them how to sign up. Or it could be, my daily social media feeds on LinkedIn. Show them how to show up. And I'd say, let me know how your preferences and check a link here so you can see what content is curated for you. And that's it. So this is the first email that you have to have ready and awarded. If you see this email format, it's very easy to do. It takes you literally 10 minutes to do that. Copy and paste, screenshot this format, and just go to work. That's the first one. The second emails that you need to have when it comes to email marketing to get yourself visible for speaker conferences is the frequency of your email. Now, I know a lot of people on the internet say that you need to send emails every single day. So that's 365 emails a year. I do not agree. I do not think you need to run yourself dry with doing an email every single day. I've done it before, years past, and honestly, think about yourself. You know you get bombarded with emails all the time. You don't want it, right? Unless it's a very valuable email, you don't want it in your inbox. So I highly suggest that instead of doing the daily, do timely emails. And this is my strategy that I'm going to share with you. I have a weekly email, and that weekly email is not nonsense. It's literally free content trainings. That is my webinar series every Wednesday, and you guys are a product of this, right? You got an email of a webinar that I'm doing. If you notice, each webinar topic is usually along the same breath. It's usually a different topic, but it's topics that I cover. It's very experience driven. It's things that I've done in my life, in my career that I'm sharing with you. And if I see a webinar topic is working, I do a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, part 5, whatever. If I know my community loves the content, I double down. If I think that the one webinar is enough, I leave it and I move on to the next one, right? So you need to think of something that you could do on a weekly basis that could provide value, because I don't know if you know the quota. It takes 8 emails for people to see your 8 iterations, either 8 social media posts or 8 emails, for people to build trust in your credibility. I'm going to repeat that again. People need to see you 8 times providing value in order for you to provide credibility. So for some of you, you probably saw me 8 times either through social media, through my newsletter, through my webinar, before you said, okay, I will purchase a product, I will purchase a booking, I will refer her to this event. By the way, just in last month alone, I got about 15 or 16 speaker referrals just because of my webinars alone. Okay, so it does work. Weekly emails, you're not selling anything, you're literally just giving value through content. Webinars are great. That's one. My monthly emails are very personal. These are the ones where I give people updates on what's happening in my life, what I'm working on, my lessons, my highs and lows. These are very personal. And a lot of people who know me know that I'm very honest, vulnerable, sincere, and open. I'm a very open book. So I use these touch points to just really share and get feedback from my community. And a lot of people have been like cried for my emails, have laughed for my emails, have really said like, look, Christine, your emails are very, very thought provoking and open minded. So those are my monthly touch point emails. My quarterly emails are usually product campaigns. So my first quarter one was my personal branding accelerator program. After that campaign is done, you don't hear about it again. right? So those are usually big ticket items that you have for sale, that because you're adding value on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, every quarter, those big programs, people are able to respond. And then lastly is my annual kickoff and end of the year review emails, where at the beginning of the year in January and the end of the year December, these are my core emails that I send out to kick off the year and wrap up the year. And I usually have a lot of different gems in those emails from my community. So these are the number 74 emails that are very, very instrumental to creating a newsletter strategy. This is my format for my monthly newsletter, my intro sentence, updates, value, anything that I'm selling or launching, and anything that's inspirational about what I'm doing in my network. Very simple format for my monthly email. For my annual email newsletter, I have a screenshot here. It's usually a post of me doing something, right? So this is me coming off a speaking engagement, red carpet. I was speaking in front of an audience around how to get into entrepreneurship in tech. And I shared with people how it's kicking off the year. Again, very simple format, really keeping it very clear for people to know what I'm working on for that. Okay. So that is my entire email outreach strategy in literally under 10 minutes. So you see, it's not complicated. And I guarantee if you make this a consistent basis, even if you have 100 people in your email database, it will generate opportunities for you. Okay. Now we're going to transition into outbound. This is where we're going to talk about email outreach, and I'm going to share with you how to do it manually with individual pitching. And if you want to scale, how you can use platforms like Yesware to automate your outreach with email scripts. Now, for the sake of this webinar, I'm only focusing on the manual outreach. If you want to know how to use the automation like Yesware software, that is a part of my public speaking accelerator program that's live tonight and tomorrow for the session. But for the sake of time, tonight we're going to talk about individual outreach. Okay? So let's dive right in. So before you pitch, by the way, for speaking engagements, I want to make it very, very clear. Before you even start sending out those emails, you have to make sure you have three things ready. So because every speaking engagement you reach out to, they are going to audit your profile. And if your profile is a mess, if you don't have things in order, they will not book you. So here are the three things you have to have in check. First and foremost, you need to have a speaker profile ready. So I highly suggest you have your one pager ready to go. Very simple to do. This is a format that you could copy and paste and implement. If you've been a part of my speaker book and accelerator program, you know we go over this content. Very simple to do. Okay, so make sure you have this readily available. It's a one pager as your photo, your tagline, your speaker topics, your accolades, your bio, engagements that you're ready for, previous clients, where you've been featured, and contact information. Very simple content. The second thing you need to know is that your social media page needs to be presentable. You don't have to post every day, but your banners, your information needs to be consistent with your speaker profile. Very, very important. And the last thing is your website needs to be live. Now, I know there's a big debate about this, that some of you may not have a website. But if you really want to monetize speaking engagements as quickly as possible, you need to have at least a landing page. And that landing page could be a one pager with your photo, your bio, and topics that you're readily available. And that's it, right? It's really crucial that you have a website. It's so competitive now for speaking engagements. You're doing yourself a real disservice if you don't have a website. As part of my public speaker booking program, we go over what to put on your website, how to generate information that really gets people who want to book you automatically. So please make sure that you have these three things readily available. Once you have those three things set up, now you can begin the email outreach. Okay, so we're going to go into that right now. So I'm going to talk about the 10 emails per day that you're going to do. And I'm going to start with the first 5 emails that you need to consider putting out before we get into um, call for application emails that you send out. So here are the 10 emails that you need to start to write daily. Okay. The first set of emails are you leveraging your warm leads, which is leads that are in your network. I started doing this when I first kicked off my speaking career. It converted very, very rapidly. And I took for granted how this set me up for paid speaking engagements immediately because once people see you in the speaker circuit, it just becomes a viral effect where more and more engagements keep coming. Excuse me. My voice is getting a little bit more hoarse. So, with that said, the first one for those of you who went to college, university, high school, you first got to send email outreach to those networks, okay? And I'm not just talking about just reaching out to the school department, also reaching out to any affinity groups that you are part of at the institution. So for me, I'm a graduate of Dartmouth College. So not only would I reach out to Dartmouth College's alumni department, I will also reach out to the volleyball club. I will also reach out to the Black Community Club, the Women's Club. I will reach out to the policy department, the English department, any department that I was a part of during my undergraduate years, I would reach out to. And you'd be amazed at how quickly they will respond to your email simply because you're a part of the network. So that's the first email. And keep in mind, just with one alumni network alone, there's probably 20 different departments that you can reach out to. So if you're going to do one email per day for each one of those networks, that is about like within 3 weeks, you'll be finished sending out all those emails. The second network is being an attendee at an event. There has been events in the past when I first got started where I would register for an event and I would email the organizer about how do I upgrade, but more importantly, how do I get on your speaker lineup? And you'll find a lot of speaker events because you're already, let's say, a VIP attendee or a premium event attendee. They will actually accept you as a speaker, even if it is for 10 minutes, a 10-minute keynote or 15-minute keynote or a panelist, just because you're already a premium member of the event. Crazy hack, works every time. Another email to reach out to if you're part of any newsletter content. I'm a part of like a bunch of newsletter series, whether it's like the Women NYC newsletter or the We NYC or the 37 Angels network, because I'm a New Yorker, so I have a lot of emails coming in from newsletters within my New York ecosystem community. I emailed the curator and say like, "Hey, I see you featured these speakers last month. How do I get on your speaker lineup?" And I pitched them my speaker profile and when I'm available to speak. Again, because I'm already a member of their community, because I'm receiving their emails, you'd be very surprised how some of them will even book. I even have people email my company at the Global Startup Ecosystem to speak at our events, and because they're following our newsletter, we book them. We put them to speak at our events. So it does work. And the last one is a community neighborhood network, such as your local library, bank, or school. So these are 4 immediate emails, warm leads that you should send out on a daily basis to your network because it does work very well because they're warm leads. Okay. Now we're gonna get into the cold leads, and this is where you're gonna pitch events. I wish my voice was more clear because I want to share with you when it comes to pitching events. There's 2 ways to do this. One way is these events have called for speaker applications. I sent out 5 earlier today that you could apply to. Okay. And when you see those events, when they publish, you click on it and they'll have like either a form or an email that you can send out. If it is a form, it's very important that you look at what they need and be very direct with the content that you're going to provide. I never just provide one speaker topic. I always provide multiple options in that speaker email outreach for the RFP. And I always have a link to a video of me speaking, whether me speaking virtually or in person. For those of you who don't have a lot of videos from speaking at an event, create a webinar, record yourself doing the webinar, submit that video. It's that easy. It's not that complicated. But they need to see a video of you speaking somewhere because it makes them understand your cadence, your quality of speech, how the content, and how you deliver. If they don't see something of you speaking, they won't book you. I've seen too many people send emails without a video link. Don't do it. Send something. So that's for the RFPs. Now, if you're doing R&D where you find engagements and you're pitching them an email, I'm going to share with you the email sequence before we close for tonight. So that way you could go out there and try to do those email outreach. Okay. You guys ready? So this is literally an email. If you see how short it is, that my team sent out to an engagement that they wanted me to speak at. In the subject line, I immediately have what makes me stand out. So I'm a Forbes featured speaker. So I've been featured in Forbes. So I put that there because who wouldn't want a Forbes featured speaker on their lineup? Okay. And then I put follow up. Now, this is a really great hack because you'll find, excuse me, when you put follow up in the subject line, people think that they missed your previous email. So they will quickly respond because they feel like, wow, did I miss this? Let me respond immediately. So I put follow up Forbes feature speaker, Timeless Tech Summit 2024. So, and the name of the event. So they know that I'm literally talking to the right people, that the key value propositions I'm Forbes feature speaker, and then the word follow up. So they immediately open the email. Now that I got them to open the email, I make sure to find the name of the organizer. Either you use LinkedIn, you go on the website, you see the management team, always personalize the email. And immediately I ask the first question, are you still looking for speakers? What I'm doing is clearly they are looking for more speakers, but by putting that, I'm getting the person in the yes mode psychologically because their immediate reaction should be a yes, and then I'm proposing almost a solution, which is the name of the speaker. So are you still looking for speakers? Christine and Tim will be in town from New York that week. What I'm saying there is you don't have to pay for my flight and travel and hotel because I'm already in town, right? So Christine and Tim will be in town. So that's a signal that, wow, first, yes. Are you looking for a speaker? Yes. Is she in town? Yes. Now, exactly what I could provide, right? She can do a 15 to 30-minute keynote on. Now, for those of you who are trying to be panel speakers, sometimes it's hard to get on panels if they don't know what fit that you will be on. But usually they can squeeze you in for 10, 15-minute keynote slots. Immediately, I put two different topics: how young people could do XYZ, how to build your personal brand. Immediately, I put two different topics. And then I tell them her speaker profile is attached, right? Keep in mind, in the link, you see Christine and Tim, that's a link to my speaker video, right? So immediately when they click on that, sometimes I make that a link to my LinkedIn or I make it a link to my speaker video. And then I end with, let me know if you're interested so I can add your event to her speaker tour. This is a really crucial ending because what I'm saying there is that I'm doing multiple speaking engagements already. So I'm almost going to be adding more event exposure to this event if they book me. And it also shows how professional I am that I have a system for really outreach, closing and get out there. And everyone always wants professional speakers at their event. This got a response within 2 hours. Now, I'm not saying that you will get the same type of reaction, but this has worked for me for several reasons. And I'm going to summarize again. One, the subject line is very clear, the value proposition and the timelessness of it, the follow up, and the Forbes featured content. Second, I already shared with them why that I'm already available, that I'm in town. Third, I provided examples. Fourth, I provided a link to my speaker reel video. Five, I made an attachment of my speaker profile. Six, I already showed them, that I'm on a tour. Why they should book me. That is just literally 3 minutes of an email, gets reactions very quickly. Okay. So once they book me, then we're doing speaker contracts and we move forward. All right. Any questions, feel free to share on the chat feed. We'll love to answer them. Okay. So with that said, I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to share with you that format example before we close out. Okay. So to summarize, the 10 emails that you're going to be writing on a daily basis is the 4 warm leads that we talked about earlier today through your community, and the 6 email sequences that we discussed today regarding the event. So with the event, again, the first email for the call for applications is you submit the pitch. So the pitch is similar to the profile, to the email script that I just shared with you. Once you send that out, depending on 24 to 48 hours, if they do not respond to you, you send another follow-up. This time, the follow-up, you got to go to the event website and look at the agenda and see where there are gaps. You tell them where you would fit in. The third email sequence is you closing out that, hey, if they're still looking for speakers, here's the final opportunity for them to book you. If not, how they can stay in touch. And then you close. That is it. Okay. So hopefully you found this session very useful and helpful. These are the email formats. And I think someone just pinged me and said that they want to see the email format again. This is the email format that I use to get engagements. And these are the 10 emails that I send out on a regular basis to get speaking engagement bookings on a regular basis. Apologies again for my voice. I really wish I could give more examples and share with you how I'm able to do this on autopilot. But again, this is the content that we have for today's webinar session. We'll send out the recording later on today. Are there any questions on the call before we close out? We'll love to answer any questions on the session. Any questions? Any questions on the session? If you have a question, just post it on the chat and I would love to answer. If there are no questions, we could close. You could log off. If you do have questions, let me know and I can share with you how to apply anything that we discussed today. Because again, this is a really great format for closing speaking engagements. And let me just end recording so that way I can answer any live questions. Thank you again for joining today.